Hello again, thanks for watching. Today, I will honestly rank all 11 Star Wars movies. May the Force be with you, but beware. Spoiler alert. 11th and last place is The Last Jedi. A wonderful movie. I really enjoyed it. No, just kidding. It is a boring and ridiculous movie. It looks very good and the sound is outstanding. But that's it. The rest is just a slap in the face for every old Star Wars fan. All of the things you thought you knew about the Star Wars lore and characters will be completely erased by the end of the film. Luke Skywalker plays a completely wrong role, although Mark Hamill does his best with the script he is given. Rian Johnson completely destroys the small setup built in episode 7 and the gameplay is quite boring. You see this in one of the first scenes when Rey hands him his lightsaber. Slapstick. It's ridiculous. And Snoke's role is undermined completely despite the very small build up in 7. Well, unsatisfactory answers to all questions asked in 7, and at the spur of the moment someone pulls something out of nowhere that forevermore makes any space combat scene obsolete. WTF. 10th place for Solo, a Star Wars story. Well, in my opinion Star Wars died the moment Disney took it over. Worst of all is the new droid and the mincing Lando. The new droid is hilariously bad in the same vein as Rose from The Last Jedi. The Kessel Run left meaningless due to a what? Shortcut? And how Han got his name Solo is so lame. He is alone when he signs up for the Empire. Says his name is Han, so the Empire names him Han Solo. WTF. And also an extremely dark movie. Sometimes it's hard to see anything. And it's very boring movie. To do something useful instead of watching the film. Take out the rubbish, wash the dishes or vacuum the flat. 9th place for The Rise of Skywalker. This last episode proves that Disney didn't had a plot for the 3 movies. After Rian Johnson destroyed the small rest of the story from episode 7, J.J. Abrams created a best of Star Wars album with all the greatest hits from the previous films. And he was not above digging the Emperor out of the mothballs and presenting this as planned. Well, this movie has no impact, dumb dialogues, no internal logic, no rules or any consequences. Nearly all characters died. But wait, no, they are all good later on. I seldom saw such an accumulation of nonsense. The peak of nonsense is that the Bonanza boys and girls riding on a Star Destroyer. Come on JJ. Okay, coming to the better of the worst Star Wars movies. 8th place for episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Well, the comic book guy of The Simpsons said, worst Star Wars ever. I will only see it 3 more times today. George Lucas also, like Disney, lost track of what made Star Wars special to millions of people around the world. The visual effects here were mind-blowing at the time of movie release, but there are many issues plaguing the film. Poor dialogue and stilted direction led to bad performances from actors who are typically very good. The heavy use of CGI has resulted in the film aging poorly. The birth of Jesus, Anakin Skywalker. WTF. Jar Jar Binks is supposed to appeal to the younger audiences, but was taken too far and became a caricature that only annoyed most. Cut Jar Jar Binks out and shorten the pod race, then the movie will become insanely better. And the talking about taxation is as boring as it is in real life. Darth Maul is a villain with a ton of potential, but then is killed off without any further character development. But the amazing battle between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon versus Darth Maul saved this movie from becoming total trash. 7th place is episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Well, the script, acting and romantic themes in this movie are definitely pretty weak, but like The Phantom Menace, the entertaining moments and epic battle scenes topple the bad parts mostly, but there are many boring parts. The politics. Also the more or less wooden acting of Hayden Christensen went a long way to killing this movie on his own, and there was zero chemistry between him and Natalie Portman. The good, some exciting action, good music, and the most important one, not much Jar Jar Binks, and a cool Yoda, not the weird puppeteers in episode 1, a marginal better movie than The Phantom Menace. And now we are coming to the better Star Wars movies, worth watching. 6th place is episode 7, The Force Awakens. First Disney Star Wars movie. I enjoyed this movie seeing it the first time in 3D, and I loved seeing Star Wars back on the big screen. The movie has a good pace, soundtrack is great, and Harrison Ford acts great as always. But unfortunately, there were some aspects of the movie I disliked very much later on and have degraded my opinion of the movie. Most of the story in The Force Awakens is copied from A New Hope. Main character grows up on a barren planet without its parents. Check. The enemy has a Death Star planet. Check. With a vulnerable point. Check. Main enemy character has a teacher controlling him from the shadows. Check. Well, in the end it was episode 4 remastered and reloaded. Why is the New Order dominating the galaxy? They were utterly destroyed after Return of the Jedi. But the main issue for me is that Disney spent us no scene where Han, Leia, Chewbacca and Luke acting together. Thank you Disney, for nothing. Anyway, you can watch this movie as a standalone. 5th place is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, the best movie of the first trilogy by George Lucas in my opinion. In short, it's a must-see movie. Episode 3 picks up where Attack of the Clones left off, centering mainly on Anakin Skywalker's secret marriage, his friendship with Obi-Wan Kenobi and his temptation to join the dark side, and the movie consistently built up to the classic final showdown between him and his former master Obi-Wan, as well to the born of Darth Vader. Hayden Christensen acting a lot better than in episode 2, and the character development, which was lacking in the previous 2 films, was way better. Well, seeing the original trilogy before, the ending was predictable, but worth to watch. It's an exciting, dark and enchanting movie, close to the prequel trilogy. The finale could please even the most devoted prequel hater. Everything is wrapped up and we get the conclusion we deserve. 4th place surprisingly goes to Rogue One. Call of Duty meets Star Wars. That is what I thought watching Rogue One for the first time. Set between episodes 3 and 4, it is about the capture of the construction plans for the first Death Star by the rebels. This movie hit me by surprise. It has some of the best action sequences in any Star Wars film, and it actually has what many of the films have lacked before and after: good written characters and terrific actors. Also the battles feels more real and the film is visually absolutely stunning. Some of the scenes are some of the best I've ever seen in a Star Wars film. The beginning is a bit slow and visually muddled, and there are too many characters without enough development, while the second half of the film will blow you away. Yes, it's not a 100% perfect movie, but it's a really good movie with minor flaws at the beginning. 3rd place is Star Wars, A New Hope from 1977, the first Star Wars movie ever. Actual episode 4, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. I don't think I waste time on the plot, because we already know it. The movie is filled with fantastic quotable lines of dialogue and a classic adventure between the fight of good versus evil. Nobody can doubt the cult and classic status of this film. Great characters, original idea and an interesting storyline make it a very good film. The visual effects blew me away by that time. 2nd place is Return of the Jedi. I watched it as a kid in year it came out, 1983, with my mother. Because I wasn't old enough, I saw the film before I had seen the other 2 films, but the impact it had on me was great. So it was the first Star Wars movie for me, and because of this it will rank a little bit higher than A New Hope. For me, this movie is still awesome. It provides an unforgettable ending. It is smart, funny, action-packed, and reveals everything the trilogy had to offer. Well, the Ewok scenes did not age well, but Return of the Jedi is still a great film, and a satisfying end to the trilogy. And seeing Vader throwing the Emperor down into the Death Star's core and saying goodbye to Luke without his helmet still gets me every time. 1st place is, of course, The Empire Strikes Back. It has so much iconic scenes that I am not able to list them all. The Battle of Hoth is spectacular, meeting Yoda the first time in the swamps of Dagobah, and it took all of the good parts from the first movie and added a darker elements to it. It's great to watch Luke grow up in his quest to become a Jedi. Han Solo remains one of the greatest supporting characters of all time. This is more than great film, I must see. If you watch the original trilogy and compare it to last one, you come to the conclusion there is more than a galaxy between them. So, the conclusion is, watch the movies in the following order: Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, Rogue One, Episode 4 Star Wars A New Hope, Episode 5 The Empire Strikes Back, Episode 6 Return of the Jedi. Forget about the rest. If you want to watch only a single movie as a standalone, then watch Episode 7, and forget all the other ones. Thank you for watching. Peace.